a great writer, 3 times best-selling author, started from an instructor, trainer, facilitator, today well known in the industry as a coach for others around the world. People are looking for you as a writer, as a ghostwriter, as an editor, and you are very busy in conducting summits and attending summits at the same time for authors and speakers around the world. This is none other than a very good friend of mine, Nasreen Variyawa, all the way from South Africa. Nasreen, welcome on board.
Thank you so much for having me, Farookh, and thank you for the eminent introduction. I think that kind of introduction comes from the kindness of your heart and the generosity of having me here. So thank you very much.
My pleasure and my honor. Nasreen, you were the very first guest, and all the idea about Ignition 0.1 and 2.0, which is running right now, it all started with you, because you had written your very first book at that time, and now you have written several books, and you are now coaching others around the world how to write their story. So take us from the first book to your current book.
Oh, wow. What a magnificent journey it's been. Yes, the first Ignition did start with me, and that's an honor that I will always cherish. And I'm so glad that a great idea started as a result of a casual chat about books and authoring and what the first book was about. But I'm also grateful for those challenges that used to come at midnight, 4 in the morning, that propelled me to writing the first book, which was the Leadership Diary. And it's been such a magnificent journey since then. I can't say that when I started, I took any conscious steps towards where I am now. I think it's been pretty much that at that point in time, I was teaching full time. I hit the road running with this new challenge and this new passion, newfound passion that I found. And now I'm sitting in a place where I've sort of a little bit of goodbye to that. And I'm sitting in a place where I have the time, the resources, and the opportunity to do these wonderful things and to make contact with the kind of people who want to put their stories out, who want to write great books, share their stories, align it to their businesses, and ultimately to help others along as well, because it's a continuous cycle. So it's been a wonderful journey. At first, hitting the road running, just writing and publishing work, and then as a result of that, others asking for help, and then Ignition with you happened, and Rise with Sabine Matharu happened as an editor, and from there onwards, so many things, so many opportunities have come my way. And it's all just been a matter of yes, can-do attitude. And I guess that's how it's all happened.
Wow. There are a lot of people, Nasreen, that you and I know that they have the dream of writing a book. I had this dream of writing a book for many, many years. And then once you knew the technique, it became so simple and so easy. What is that you would like to tell to those who have the dream, but they don't know where to start?
If you know that you want to write a book, there's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. There's that inner voice, that intuition that I notoriously call Guru Gut, mm-hmm. that is talking to you and saying to you that, listen, there's something that's left for you to achieve, and it's this. And you should not ignore that voice, because everybody, I believe, is born with the best story within. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what do I mean by that? I believe that God, Allah, has sent everybody here with a fate.
Yep.
Okay, that is predestined. All right. So we're born with our story, but He's also sent us to earth with a purpose. All right.
Yep.
And mainly that purpose is to help and to serve. So why are you getting this notion that you should be telling your story? You're getting this notion that you should be telling your story because your story was given to you so that you can help others through it. And that is why you were born with the best storytelling, best story within, because you have the ability to tell the story. You just need to find someone to help you do it. Now, many authors are under the misconception that in order to write a book, they need to have good grammar. Their spelling needs to be 100%. They need to have a way with words, and that's not true. You've got the primary content for a book, which is the story. Then God has blessed a number of people in the world with a way with words. And that is why they have their place on earth to help you achieve your purpose. Who are they? They are coaches. They are ghostwriters. They are editors. They are book cover designers. They are book formatters. And all of these people come together to help you to put your story out so that you can help others. And that is your test for what you take it and do with it after you have published it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, as you mentioned, there are a lot of people who are scared of writing, and then they don't know about what is ghostwriting, and that's where you play a very major role. Tell me, what is ghostwriting for our audience?
Ghostwriting is simply to write on behalf of somebody else in the style that is suitable for them, in their voice, in their tone, that matches their personality and does justice to their story. So basically, you sit down with somebody, you find out about what their story is, and you go through a process of them relaying information to you, and you transcribing that into a story that is suitable for publishing. So that is what ghostwriting is all about. It's a wonderful journey, really. You start with somebody that you don't know. And you get to know them personally, intimately, along the way. And then you learn through a process of intuition what they would like their book to look like, be like. What would they like it to say? If they were to write it, how would they write it? And there are a number of ways of doing that. For example, I wrote a biography in full poetry for a client. And she's a really classy woman from the United Arab Emirates. And to get a grip on her personality, I would interact with her more than I usually with some clients, because I was fascinated by her personality, by the way she spoke, her tone, her accent. And then I tried something new. I started to adopt one or two of her traits in my dressing. And then I would start to write her chapters. And I play guesswork about how she would write it if she were writing it. And that's what I call Nasreeniology. These are the strange things I do to get into the mind and the personality of somebody to get the output. And sometimes the response would be, oh, but how did you know that? But that's a gift that all of us come with. We all have that gift. It's just that we are afraid to use it, because we are afraid what others would think when it finally comes out.
Absolutely. I do agree.
So to all the authors out there that are feeling, that have this feeling somewhere that they want to tell their story, you have that feeling because you should tell your story. And you will always remain unfulfilled inside until you do it. So go for it. Put pen to paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. Trust me, nobody's story is perfect at the first draft. It's a merry mess.
Absolutely. So, Nasreen, there are two types of books. One is the friction and non-friction. Which is that you're specialized in?
My specialization is non-fiction. But the beauty about the publishing industry today is that you can pretty much take your life story, which is non-fiction, which is true, and you can turn it into a non-fiction, and vice versa. So a lot of clients are using stories in the third person sense to actually market themselves in business. It becomes a self-help book. It becomes a self-development book through a story. So that's the beauty of the publishing industry today. You can combine any number of elements and genres to achieve your end purpose. You can combine a romance and a non-fiction. You can combine poetry with non-fiction. So that's the beauty of publishing, and it's a wonderful place to be right now because you can experiment with a whole lot of it. And I believe that as authors, if you want to be excellent, an excellent author, then you must not be afraid to experiment. You must not be afraid to write in other genres and see how it goes. Right now, I've been challenged with romance. Me? But I'm going to take up the challenge and see how it goes. I've done poetry already, and that's how Aspire to Inspire happened. I've never done biographies, but hey, I've done it for somebody, and that too in full poetry. I don't know anything about Air Force pilots. I don't know anything about bombers, and not even that a mess is actually a place where everybody gets together and eats. But I've learned and I've grown from meeting these kinds of people because I've written a biography for an Air Force pilot.
Wow.
So it's exciting. It's wonderful. Don't be afraid. Just go with it. Experiment. Do it. Say yes to every challenge.
Absolutely. Today you're being called by different organizations for summits and masterminds. I know that you're also going to conduct a mastermind of your own. So what is that you provide in a summit or a mastermind?
In my mastermind is going to be aligned to my new book. I don't have a cover reveal yet for you, but the authentic author recipe is in the works. It's completed. It's been edited. The cover is being designed. So my mastermind is aligned directly to the book. And the book is meant for new authors. It's aimed for new authors, particularly this audience that is afraid to write. Because I have been observing a lot of new authors on social media who have questions. And it's occurred to me that everybody is offering a course on how to write, the technical aspects. But nobody is really focusing on the mindset and the lifestyle aspect of being an author. And I believe that before you want to be an author, you need to make those changes and adjustments to your life and your mind first before you tackle the challenge of writing something. It's like painting a wall. You've got to prime the wall before you paint it.
That's true.
Just like that, you've got to prime your life, you've got to prime your mind before you write. So the mastermind is aligned to the word authentic.
Okay.
And I've covered every lifestyle aspect and mindset aspect that an author must change or adjust to in order to be able to lead a successful authoring career. So there are going to be 8 sessions to the mastermind.
Okay.
And through the 8 sessions, the learners will have their challenges.
Mm-hmm.
They will go experiment with doing different things like travel, putting value systems in place, looking at whether their value systems on social media and their personal lives talk to each other. They will look at different things like how to use travel to write books, how to use relationships with people to write books, how to cook so that you are inspired enough to cook, how to exercise daily so that you are primed for your work day in the office. What is required in an author's office? What should it look like? What are the tools that you require? How should you dress as an author? What should you be prepared for every day? You know, does doing it in your pajamas really work for you? Does sitting on the couch really work for you? All those kinds of issues are addressed in the book. And I believe that once that is put in place,
Okay.
there isn't an exact science. Everybody has a different style. But I believe that once authors have a perspective that, look, I'm not abnormal for wanting to write in my bed. This is done. This is okay. I believe then that when those issues are sorted out mentally, psychologically, then authors can say, well, yes, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
With confidence, with authority, with authenticity. That's the most important thing.
Wow.
So the mastermind will go through this with them, and then they will have the opportunity to actually start writing their books, because I will also additionally give them the tools and the process that they need to go through to write. And they have the 1 or 2 people will actually have the opportunity to be coached by me and published eventually.
Nasreen, thank you very much for joining in Ignition 2.0. Nasreen Variyawa.